Welcome to JAMUP number 21. We can drink legally. Our podcast
Yes,
can
we
drink legally
can.
now.
Podcast can drink legally. It's going to need you to keep up with you guys.
Oh, yeah. It's going to need to keep up with Jeff specifically. Which I guess is always the first initiative. Fight update, sir. You definitely have something
And
for us
this
this
is
week.
the first time I can say it.
You're not going to leave him hanging? You don't
Nope.
want to make him wait till the end of the podcast?
Nope. I am officially
You're a gentleman.
scheduled for my UFC debut March 9th in Wichita, Kansas.
March 9th. That's so far away, but yet so close.
It creeps up on you quick.
It doesn't seem far away at all, to be
Yeah,
honest.
It's going to be here before you know it.
Because February is short as fuck month, by
Right.
the way. So you lose a couple days
And
of a
when
normal
you're-
camp there.
When you're in camp, too, man, you think you have all the time because you're just grinding, going through hell. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, shit, did I do enough? But I know this time for a fact I'm doing enough. So,
Yeah.
So when you started, what did they put you at? About a 10-week camp for this fight when you actually knew?
Yeah, it was like 9.5, 10 weeks.
Is that about normal, or I know like for like title fights are probably usually a little bit longer unless there's people pulling out, but for, like what is the normal like amount of time?
I would say
a lot for a fight camp.
We kind of do like a pre-camp, especially if we like know it. But like we're in the camp now, so it's about 8 weeks. It like last week felt like my first official week of camp. You know, I got a lot more attention than I usually get. Not so much usually get, but like it's more directed towards me. Like these are my rounds.
Right, yeah, there's going to be people in there sparring with you to have you prepared for this opponent.
Right.
As opposed to, well, you know, you're training with Stipe, you're getting Stipe ready.
Right.
Even if you had a fight coming and Stipe does too,
Right.
you're getting Stipe ready.
Right.
Like that's
well, because when he fought DC and I was on the Contender Series, we kind of worked it out to where he would get his 5 rounds and I was part of those 5 rounds, and I would get my 3 rounds in during there too. So it really helps when we were on the same schedule too. So he doesn't have anything coming up that I know of, or it's really been announced or anything. But he's training like it. He's training. That dude's a madman.
I was going to say, is he in camp beating the crap out of you to just basically say like, hey, if you're fine here, you're going to be fine in your UFC fight?
That's what it turns into.
More or
man.
less.
He any gym I go to, man, I'm like the big dog in there, and then he puts me in my place pretty quick. So
Yeah.
it's a good feeling knowing you're not the top guy in the gym, though. It really is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
A lot of people wouldn't think that, but yeah, it is.
I guess the pressure's kind of off in that situation.
Yeah, but the pressure's there to at least try to compete with them. So that's what I try to do my best. Some days are better than others, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, shit.
Tell us a little bit more about the fight, man. So
Yeah,
who do you got? What does he do? What are you looking for? Anything that you can share?
Yeah, I'm scheduled to fight Walter.
About
I'm
to
gonna
fight
you.
Walt. Yeah. Walt can go 5 rounds.
I think he could.
I got Daniel Spitz. Believe he's out of a camp in Washington. He played. I believe he played football for Washington State back in the day, or not too long ago, or whatever. This is his fourth fight in the UFC. So he has the experience on me in
He's
the UFC.
1-2, right? With
1-2 in the UFC.
Win, loss.
Yeah. But he's real long, rangy fighter. But everything I've watched, I know that I'm a little bit better than he is at everything. So yeah, it's the game plan. Is go in there and just do my game plan. It's my fight.
No, it's good.
Don't tell him the actual game plan, because you guys got a lot of viewers with last week's episode,
Yeah.
so you know if it gets out to him.
Right. Well, you know what? Game plans are great, but sometimes it's just when it comes down to it, it's just a fight. It really is. I mean, I don't really look at a game plan so much as like live or die by it. It's kind of like a guideline. Like, okay, we're gonna try this. If this doesn't work, fucking go in there and fight.
Nice. I mean, whatever you're doing so far is working.
It has worked.
I would,
To my
I would guess,
success, yeah. So
Well, you see it too. Watch it. If you watch a UFC show and you hear between rounds with the cornermen, I mean, these are guys that have been fighting for a really long time with coaches that have either fought for a really long time or absolutely know what they're doing. And they'll say, when he drops the left, you come over with this, and you hear them tell them that, and it's so much easier to sit there and say it than to actually apply it, because at the same time, what if he doesn't do that, or what if he's quicker to it than you thought he was going to be? And I mean, it's easy to have that. It's easy to know what to do, and I just know that from wrestling and stuff in school. You can teach the counter to every hold that you have, but it's sometimes that guy is just way better at that one hold he's going for than you're capable of countering, and you need to figure something else out. Like, it's the game plan is great. It's great to know what to do and what scenario and what you want to do, but at the same time, sometimes you have to just feel it in the moment.
Right. It's and for coaching wise, man, you got to coach. Like, my coaches are so good at coaching on the fly too. Like, we can drill something for 8 weeks, and then shit, man, that was a little thing he did that, man, he improved it. So shit, that ain't going to work this time.
You go in training for a really good wrestler, and all of a sudden he has better stand up than you guys even knew he had, and okay, we didn't plan for that.
Exactly.
We need to now, right now.
Right. Yeah. So coaching on the fly, and between rounds and stuff, it really. I mean, I hear my cornermen better than I would say majority of fighters do. Like, I hear everything they say, and I've actually. A couple of times I've heard my cornerman and I've executed it, and it's worked like that. So
I always wondered, when they're yelling during the fight, like, can't the other fighter hear them? Like, wouldn't they just see that all coming and shit? You know what I mean? But
you do, not. But it's almost like your brain is so programmed to listen to your coach and your coach only.
So they kind of just tune it out.
Yeah, like I tune my corner's guy out, or my
the opposite corner.
Oh yeah, I don't hear a damn word unless you're against a cage in his corner and they're giving instructions like, okay, throw the right knee high, and okay, shit, if he hears it, I hear it. And, but I mean, I can be all the way across the cage and still hear my coaches. No problem. They cut right through the crowd. They cut through. It's always been that way too.
So I guess a clever fighter, if they could somehow work to not tune that out and still pay attention to their corner, it'd be pretty strategic to listen to the other corner, I would think.
We do a lot of code names, too, for things, because everybody knows. I mean, you guys have never fought a MMA bout in your life, and you probably know what a 1-2-3 is, or a 1-2, a double jab, or, something like that.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So, so if they say, okay, we need a double jab, too, my opponent here he knows a double jab and a right hand's coming after that. So they'll mix it up, and we have code words for it. And I'm not going to say it over here, but there's shit
coming out of the woodwork.
For the audio listeners, the cat just popped up, and I could not find her before the show. Usually I lock her up, but there she is. Looks like she's going to be also a guest this episode.
But yeah, so that's all I know really. It's we're training for it. We're ready. We'll be even more ready come March 9th, and I'm excited to make my debut. I started my rounds of interviews yesterday. I started doing interviews with other news outlets and stuff. So
I saw that.
Outlets.
Trying to watch the one with I always call it Parting Shot Podcast because that's what they say, but with James Lynch.
Yeah, that's my favorite guy, man. Yeah. He's I shouldn't say my favorite guy, but he's a guy I'm most comfortable with because I've done it. I think this was my 4th or 5th time with him.
Other than this show, I think that's probably the most you've done is with him.
Right.
You should tell all of them too. If you want the real scoop, you come over to the JAMUP podcast.
Podcast. I tried
from the horse's mouth.
Today, I was going to plug us in, and usually they ask like, "Hey, do you have anybody to thank? Do you want to plug yourself?" Like, where can we find you on social media? I was going to say, Matt Archer Media, and it didn't work out, so he didn't ask. But it was still a good interview. Today, I didn't do it with James Lynch. Today, I did it with another guy, but I'm getting better at them, and I think a lot has to do with just doing them and doing the podcast, man, has been...
Oh, I bet. I bet.
James Lynch asked me yesterday, he's like, what do you think about possibly going into the world of professional wrestling? And that's all I need right there, man.
We could talk about that.
Yeah. And my coach said it because he listened to it, and he was like, man, I love when people start talking to you about pro wrestling because you just light up, man.
Well, that's just in your position, too. And, you've been fighting for a really long time, but you are brand new to the UFC, and, there's diplomacy and things like that involved where you probably don't want to be the guy going out there and giving these big over-the-top interviews and answers, but when they ask you about something that you Jeff Hughes, the person, oh, what do you think about professional wrestling? And you're like, fuck man, I know professional wrestling. Yeah, let's talk. I got you. Razor's Edge Jared Parsons right now. I don't care.
I would.